And before we get your Freebae episode, a big thanks to the Mad Dog, Manny Aurora, one of our fine sponsors. TheAuroraLawFirm.com, based out of Georgia, but can litigate all over this fine country of ours. So if you need a criminal defense attorney, he's good. White-collar crime, DUI, drug offenses, and more. Inspect All Pest Services, our title sponsor for Podcast Imports 3, happening October 12th, Tannery Road, Beaufort, Georgia. Get your tickets, distinctgrace.com. Providing the highest quality termite, pest, and wildlife control. Plus, they got your insulation, pressure washing, gutter maintenance, and other home services. They're in Metro Atlanta and the surrounding areas. Dr. David Markwell, saving lives. Great guy. 10 therapists in-house. If you're in Georgia, 3 locations, one across from Sprayberry High School in Sandy Plains, in East Cobb, Marietta near the square in McKaysville outside of Blue Ridge. But he can do virtual sessions, which is cool. He's got his own little link and everything. MarkwellTherapy.com or email him ridgelinecounseling@gmail.com. And then FBC Insurance. Servicing Alabama, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Texas, Utah, and Virginia. That should get you. Yeah. 5-star service, perfect for us new homeowners. Or if you're just looking to reshop your current insurance policy, but they can find carriers for your, whether it's your home, flood, auto, motorcycle, boat, recreational vehicle, or personal policy. Get a quote online, fbcinsuranceservices.com, or call 888-308-1841, or email info@fbcinsuranceservices.com. I mentioned this on yesterday's episode. We're getting ready to add to these services when you sponsor the show. So if you are interested in sponsoring the show or Podcast Imports 3, please reach out to me, Mr. Jason Bailey, via thebaileyshow.com. I'm an easy person to get a hold of. All right? We want you. We need you. We want you. All right, let's begin.
What do we want to talk about?
To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Welcome to the Bailey Show podcast, a guy show women love to listen to.
Intellectually immature nonsense.
That's BS.
That's BS.
That's BS.
That's BS.
Okay, man, let's do it.
All right, there it is, episode 215 of the BS. Thanks for being here. My name's Jason Bailey. Right there is the iron-fisted one, Chuck. Pop-Tart, eat and drink, milk, drinking, iron-fisted Lunsford.
Yeah. You know what, man? I was going to say to you, there is nothing more refreshing in the morning or at night, any time of the day, than a large glass of ice-cold milk.
Agree.
And then you think of where it comes from, and you're like,
your wife's tip.
Kind of weird. No.
That's what I was going to say. Did you ever try it when she was pregnant?
Yeah.
A lot?
Yeah. It's sweet, though. That's like sweet. Like, I'm talking about regular cow milk. I think it's weird that we drink it, but it's delicious.
You had to put like some salt on it, like it was watermelon, not down that sweetness.
Are you talking about which one, human or cow?
Titty milk.
No, because it's like really sweet. It's like it's like sugar milk.
But he's like a bartender. He mixed it with man semen.
Which one's which? I don't know.
It all went down the same. It all went down the same. It all goes to the same place. It's all good.
He was just like, I just want to experience it all. Let's just like stir that motherfucker up.
They call that, was it 2 wise men, 3 wise men?
There's the B-Man, Brandon Thrasher. Hello, B-Man.
Yeah, man, I'm thirsty now.
Yeah. I've got some good stuff for you, Brandon. All right, Podcast Imports 3. Just mentioned October 12th. It's going to be in Georgia, in Atlanta. Actually, Beaufort, Georgia, Tannery Row, where we had Podcast Imports 2. Distinct Grace is headlining. We'll do a live recording of the podcast. We'll have an acoustic karaoke contest with $1,000 cash and prizes, special guest, more to be added onto it. That's why we're telling you, and you are listening, to get your tickets now because they're only $20. It's going to be a party. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be awesome. DistinctGrace.com. All presented to you by Inspect All Pest Services. If you want to be a sponsor, reach out. We can add more sponsors. No big deal, but it's going to be fun, and we want you there. I'm coming up from Orlando. Eventually, we'll have one in Orlando. Working on that now. Anyway. One of the kickers, as I like to add to the story of an event, which makes events successful, is Brandon's song,
Bradley's in a Cadillac, smoking weed and doing crack. Found a bitch and broke her back. I don't know when he...
Which I still don't understand. He's put out this masterpiece, and he hasn't done anything with it. Like, he hasn't released it. He hasn't re-recorded it. He hates what Chuck and Tim of Distinct Grace have done to it, but he hasn't done anything with it. And it's like you're missing your window. Everything has got a shelf life. And I've been trying to put this thing over for like the last 3 weeks, and he's not doing anything creative with it. Blows me away. He just goes back to these stupid, give me 5,000 likes and I'm going to blow up a soda can. You know, Jesus, dude, like find a new shtick, something that's interesting that people will get into and can wrap their head around.
Well, first off, everything I've done on Instagram has clearly been interesting. They fucking love it. Second off, I haven't really been doing anything with social media at the moment. I've been working like crazy with sprinklers and whatnot. Gotta focus on the money now while it's here, because it, winter comes in, it kind of dies off a little bit. So I'm just kind of focusing on this now, and then at slower towards the end of the season. This is in October. We got time towards the end of the season when it starts slowing down. Then I'm really gonna go full throttle back into music making and social media.
But I don't need it then. I need it now. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you. First off, just because somebody likes or follows you on social media outside the millions of bots that are out there, if you put in the right keywords, doesn't mean they're interested. I mean,
I'm not even going off the follower count. I'm going off the number of views and likes on the videos.
Okay. They come and they go. You don't know who they are. They come and they go. This is something that people can relate to. They can grasp, they can enjoy. That's going to be bigger than this podcast, which isn't difficult, and you can do something with it. And I'm trying to help you do that. I'm trying to give you a live audience to do it in front of, whether it's 100 people or 600 people, whether it's 1,000 people that listen to this episode or 10,000 people that listen to this episode, whatever. One person is one person, but you're not doing anything with it. It's driving me.
I know. This is why I didn't want to get you involved from the beginning, because I knew my timeline on this, and I knew I didn't want it rushed. I wanted to take my time with it, and when I had time to do it, I was going to do it. But that's why I was trying to just keep back to Chuck. All right, here we are. Chuck was supposed to keep it quiet. He's just supposed to send something there and send it back to me, and that was going to be the end of it, and I wasn't going to pick it up for a couple months. But now you're rushing me on it, so now I'm all stressed out about it.
Dude, it's like giving somebody a treasure map and being like, hey, dude, don't tell anybody. And then I got a guy next to me that reads treasure maps. Of course, I'm going to show him the treasure map and be like, hey, dude, check this out.
Well, we got to figure out how to
helping you. He's helping you.
We got to talk about the treasure map, and we got other treasure that we're looking after right now, and we got to hold off on the treasure map until we got this other treasure. Well, but now the other treasure map is being rushed because Chuck done let everybody in the world know about the treasure map. So now we got to fight other people for it.
I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about, this treasure map, but look, here's the thing. I love the song. I think it's a hit. When I first debuted it, without you even being on the episode, people loved it. And now they're like losing interest because you're not doing anything with it. So I'm sitting around shooting texts back and forth, not getting a reply, saying, hey, dude, send me the raw audio. We called up my buddy who's, one of the biggest DJs in Vegas that can produce it. You don't even give me that. Like, I'm like giving you the treasure map. Like, all I'm asking you to do is send me the audio, re-record it. We had a 2-peer that went through every single episode, even before the reboot, and got your one question and put it in a spreadsheet. And you said, I was like, can you just sit there one day for like 20 minutes and just record it? I'll do all the work. I'll chop it up. All I need you to do is record it. I need your voice in your face. Still haven't even done that. Like, literally.
You said one day, you didn't give me a timeline. I'm like, I got a lot of shit going on right now. I'll do it. All right, I promise. I'll do it. Thank you, Tara, for putting it all together. I'll record those. And after we get done with this podcast tonight, I'll record Bradley's in a Cadillac, smoking weed and doing crack. Yeah, I'll record.
I don't need you to do it anymore.
I got to do it either way, because I got to send it to someone to get it how I need it.
Well, I've already done that.
Oh, God. Lord.
Just as I teased in yesterday's episode, I have used modern day technology. As much as I hate AI, because it is taking jobs out of the radio industry and will destroy the radio industry, mark my words, it'll destroy the radio industry. In the podcast world, it's actually very helpful. So I found a super secret AI technology website software program that I was able to get the raw audio thanks to Chuck Lunsford and Tim with Distinct Grace, who actually did what I asked them nicely to do and sent it over to me. I polished it up and I inserted it into this thing. And I think you're going to like the results. So you had said not that long ago that you don't know what genre. You definitely don't like the genre that they did. You think that's bad. I think it's actually good and catchy, but you're like, that's not your style. So I've got 3 different styles of Bradley's in a Cadillac sung by AI's finest that you can now listen to in hip hop fashion, rock fashion. Now, granted, it's kind of soft rock, piano rock, and country fashion. Granted, it's kind of John Denver-ish country, but still you'll get an idea of what the song sounds like. Are you excited?
I'm excited.
I don't know how it can be worse than what we had originally.
It's your fucking song. It's your lyrics. Now, granted, this is not your vocals. These are the vocals of the AI people. Okay. So here is Bradley's in a Cadillac hip hop version for your possible liking.
Bradley's in a Cadillac, smoking weed and doing crack. Found a bitch and broke her back. I don't know when he'll be back. I took too many drugs to see the stars all day long. Right now I write this song. Baby goes home alone. I'm in the club getting stoned, super drunk. I'm walking home. I see a car come my way. When it gets real close, I see his face. It's Bradley in a Cadillac, smoking weed and doing crack. Found a bitch and broke her back.
What do you think? That's pretty good.
I feel like I'm in purgatory with Lady Gaga.
Okay. I do think after listening to that version, there needs to be kind of like a breakdown in the middle before the hook, you know, where he's like, Bradley's in a Cadillac, you know, like there needs to be a
No, I mean, you need Ja Rule rapping on it. Like Ja Rule rapping between her singing would be.
I'm telling you, Atlanta's very own, one of my favorite, the best to ever do it, Ludacris, Atlanta guy. If he gets wind of this, I'm telling you, he might show up at Podcast and Pours 3 if we can get the word out. I know if I'm Luda, I'm taking us up on this offer.
I would do it. Yeah, absolutely.
Great guy.
Brandon still doesn't look excited. And that's probably going to happen, Brandon. If the hip hop version is the one that you like the most, you're probably going to get Ludacris. Maybe what's the other? Young Thug. He's doing a lot.
He's in jail right now.
Oh, is he still in jail?
Bradley
Yes.
Cadillac behind bars.
Oh, that'd be amazing, dude. If he did it over the phone, you have a collect call from. And he's like, yo, Bradley, yo. He's in a Cadillac, yo. Cadillac.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
Yo. I mean, a lot of people in the hip hop world get a hold of that. That's, you know, no more mowing lawns and doing back pumps and whatever the fuck it is that you do. You know, I mean, that's what I'm trying to accomplish for you. I'm trying to get your writing ability is second to none. I mean, there are people that are just not cut out for singing. Chuck Lunsford, Distinct Grace, cut out for singing. He is a hell of a front guy. I will say that proudly. I've seen the guy perform, and he is entertaining every single time. Brandon, you might not be that guy. Actually, you know what? You're probably not that guy. But you can be the guy behind the guy, you know? And this is brilliant, in my opinion. So, hip-hop, 1 to 10, 10 being the best. You performing at Podcast and Pours 3, October 12th, Tannery Row. Do you see yourself performing that version?
I give it a 2.5
out of 3.
10.
Oh,
fuck 100.
I hope that's not the score you're giving for my hard work of putting this together.
What'd you do? Copy and paste it into AI and said, write me a song?
No, he said he had to write the code, man. Give him some credit.
Had to design the computer that it was created on. He wrote the AI for this.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. Yeah. Actually, I just took it to Allen Iverson's house. He did it. Yeah, that was the AI I was talking about. All right, so how about the rock version? Now, granted, this is my genre. This is where I would live. But this isn't heavy rock. This is light piano rock. Okay.
In my head, when I wrote it, it was more of a country rock song. So we'll see how the rock goes on here.
All right, we'll feel it out. Here we go.
Bradley's in a Cadillac, smoking weed and doing crack. Found a bitch and broke her back. I don't know when he'll be back. I done took too many drugs. See the stars all day long. Geeked right now. I write this song. Baby girl's home alone. I'm in the club getting domed. Stupid drunk. I'm walking home. I see a car come my way. When it gets real close, I see his face. It's Bradley in a Cadillac, smoking weed and doing crack. Found a bitch and broke her back.
Pretty good right there. I mean, I got 2 words for you. Amy Lee, right? I mean, that just screams Evanescence.
What? I was thinking Axl Rose, dude. The piano, Axl.
Feeling November Rain.
Oh my God, yeah, and he's all like, Bradley's got a Cadillac, just rocking it out.
Not going to fight you on it. I love it. I think that's a great idea as well, right there. A lot of these upcoming artists, especially on social media, that you could find to record. There's a girl, what is her name? She's amazing. Summer something or another. She's trying to become a big star, just released her first song. And so on social media, it's a huge hit. She's so talented. You play that for her and you go, look, this is the AI version. What do you think? I mean, we're screaming dollars. We're screaming hits. I mean, next level. I'm not even going to bother reaching out to you to be on this show because you're going to be too big of a deal. You're going to be B-Man the songwriter.
What are we like about to pass this off to a chick to sing? We've had 2 chicks singing. You got to pay extra for the mail.
Well, here's the thing.
He didn't write that code. He didn't write the mail code.
He forgot that you put the FE in there.
Here's the thing. Your voice is a little low. You don't have a lot of bass. So I figured the closest thing to you performing would be a chick. So that's where I kind of got that. The other part of this is I scoured the internet for these websites to do this stuff. They all wanted me to pay. I finally found one that gave me 5 free tokens. So I had 3 options, 2 chicks and 1 dude who you're about to hear in a second. So that's all I got. So your next one's going to be a dude, but let's focus on this rock one first. I mean,
I think that one definitely out of 10, it's way higher than 2.5. You can't even go
be worse.
No.
At least the hip hop one. Man? That one Axl Rose though. We're going off the whatever the hell kind of AI bitch that was.
Oh man, well, granted, the enunciation was wrong. There was a couple places that she messed up the rhyming. You know what I mean? So she didn't hit the emphasis at the right time. But I mean, if you're on you see like a rocker on a piano, just be in the club getting down. You know what I mean? Dude, he's right. I mean, soprano, somebody that can really hit it. I'm giving that one. If the first one's 2.5, that one's like a 5.0. Easy.
Goosebumps. Just you telling that story right there. Goosebumps right there.
I know. With like the wind blowing, there's like smoke in the air, and he's playing, but Brandon's on a bar stool behind him is like an extra, but he's all alone in the video, just watching him work his magic. But it's really Brandon's magic, so Brandon's in the video because of it. Dude. I'm gonna watch that video a lot, and I'm probably gonna share it a lot too.
Now we're also comparing this to the version that you hated, done by Tim from Distinct Grace, which again, I mean, you can voice your opinion, but give a little love to the guy. I mean, the guy is a busy guy, extremely busy, not only helping out with Distinct Grace and their big, show that they're doing for Podcast Imports 3, the first time in forever that they performed for 2+ hours, writing new music for this new album that Will Turpin of Collective Soul is producing. but he's also got a real job saving the world. I mean, the guy's doing everything, and he found time to do this for you, and you tear it apart. You weren't even professional about it, like saying, hey, thanks for your time. Thanks for your effort. I appreciate you guys going out on a limb. Oh, fucking suck, man. Fucking suck.
Well, I didn't want to lie to the guy and said I liked it. I don't even know who he is. I do appreciate them taking the time, but I don't want to tell him, you did a good job when you didn't. So, or at least not what I wanted. I kind of wanted to critique it, go back and forth a little bit, but I will say it's better than anything I've heard so far.
So the one that you hated so much has been better than the two that I played for you here.
Correct. Yeah, so far. They're not even close on the tempo. The order I got right now so far is the one Tim did, then we got the hip hop one, now we're at the rock one. I hope to God the country's not below that.
Now keep in mind, this isn't bro country. This is kind of old school John Denver country. So think of yourself listening to this in an airplane that's going down.
Well, I love John Denver. I did a remix of Thank God I'm a Country Boy for the radio station one day. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, it was very, very good. Very good. Amazing. I don't remember that. Okay, here we go. Here's the Bradley's in a Cadillac country version.
Bradley's in a Cadillac, smoking weed and doing crack. Found a bitch and broke her back. I don't know when he'll be back. I done took too many drugs. See the stars all day long. Keep right now. I'll write this song. Baby girl's home alone. I'm in the club getting domed. Stupid drunk, I'm walking home. I see a car come my way. When it gets real close, I see his face. It's Bradley in a Cadillac, smoking weed and doing crack. Found a bitch and broke her back. I don't know when he'll be back.
All right, how about that? That's pretty good.
That's more of the direction. More of the direction I was thinking. The tempo on the AI guy is fucked up, and he's fucking the song up part of way through. But out of the four that I've heard, that's my best version so far.
Here's the thing: you never sent me the tempo. You're like making me guess. You never sent me anything. You didn't even send me the lyrics in text, like with periods and commas and stuff. So I had to take the original audio that Chuck and Tim sent me, and then put it into a text transcriber, and then take that and put it into this thing and make this happen. You sent me nothing, and you complain. Yeah. You're
but
like,
why did you not use the original audio that Chuck sent you then to put into it?
I did. You don't. So the original audio, I had to send the raw audio, not the song. So they sent me the raw audio from the original.
How could that not be included in the AI song?
Yeah, he's mad. He's mad because it's not his voice.
Well, it's not the tempo. The tempo was pretty much close on the shit I sent Chuck. It wasn't spot on.
I mean, your tempo was off a lot, but dude, if you think about it, that song, like the last one that Jason did, if you had a Mumford and Son Boston type accent with that, where it's like Bradley's in a Cadillac, like that could work, dude, with like some fiddles and stuff behind it, some ukuleles, maybe some mandolins. That's sexy. That's sexy. And I don't think that's you don't need your voice, man. Just collect the money. The royalties.
You could be the score in like a Game of Thrones, something like Braveheart 5. Something like that. But you don't, that's not how it works. Like, at least what I found out. You don't take the lyrics and you put it into the thing and then the thing makes it. You, like, every piece of song, like when I did that, it just gave me a bed. And the hell if I was going to produce it. So I wanted something to do it all for me. So I was like, okay, I finally found one that you just put text in and they sing it to the beat. I was like, well, that's easy. So I was able to do that. I mean, it took me weeks, months, years.
It's the best.
I mean, I know he's not lying because I gave him the audio yesterday, so I know he's not lying.
Thank you.
That's the direction I was going more of.
Okay.
But
you have a winner.
Bradley's in.
I could totally hear this on the radio too. It's like, you know, hey, I'm Buck McForfort, and this is WKKAT, Cat Country, country's #1 station here in Orlando. Here's Bradley's in a Cadillac.
Bradley's in a Cadillac.
See, I still can hit a post, you know, and it's just I can hear that on the radio, you know. Hey, it's Buck McForford for WKAT, Cat Country Radio, and Bradley's in a Cadillac. Be caller 9 to win this album.
Bradley's in a Cadillac, smoking weed and doing.
Hey, it's Buck McForford, WKAT. And here's the new Bradley's in a Cadillac from Brandon Thrasher, #1 requested song today. Enjoy. Yeehaw.
Bradley's in a Cadillac.
Totally radio friendly.
not a lot of cuss words in there, I guess. Can you say whore?
Yeah,
I think the breaking a bitch back is the worst part.
What about getting dome in the club? Can you say that?
They might not know what that means.
you know, it's radio's changed. You
You
know.
say cocaine in my nose?
Eric
Crack.
Clapton did. Yeah, you know, you can say cocaine if Eric Clapton sings it on a classic rock station, but you can't say crystal meth for Semi-Charmed Life with Third Eye Blind for some reason. you bleep out God from goddamn, which I hate those words. I'm just giving you an example. And you just say damn and you bleep out God, but you don't bleep out damn from that song with the whores and the wedding and stuff.
Oh, that's a good song. Yeah.
It was a great song, but
I hate when they did that. Panic at the Disco.
yeah, Panic at the Disco. Yeah.
All right. Sins Not Tragedies. Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, I hate how they did that on YouTube, man. It's like, what the fuck? That was the best part of the song.
It's weird how radio edits. So anyway, those are some options. Just to let you, you know, soak it up. You know, you've got to get ready for a live performance. And remember, you might not be the one that eventually records this. Think Coyote Ugly, Leanne Rimes, right? So what is her name? Piper, the girl that played.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? She was in Yellowstone too. Anyway, she's a songwriter. She just wants people to hear the songs that she writes. She's not a singer, but she's forced to sing one night at the bar because there's a fight. So she puts a song on the jukebox and does it, and it ends with Leanne Rimes singing her song. You can be Leanne Rimes, Piper, Coyote Ugly.
Yeah. You know, we definitely got to polish it up from, I think we found the direction, country rockish, you know, like a Coetzel kind of vibe. That's what I'm thinking.
So the next step would be for Chuck, because Chuck can do country, is to lay down a track for you to sing over. And then you go with him one day as like a job shadow intern to Will Turpin's studio and take time out of Chuck's recording schedule for his new album with Distinct Grace to go in the booth and have Will Turpin of Collective Soul, who've sold millions of albums, and you can't say the 90s without Collective Soul, and record Bradley's in a quarterback, in a Cadillac, and Will Turpin's going to go, hold on, I need to get Ed Roland on the phone.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a mic right here. I can't just record it here. I hold a blanket over my head.
We saw what happened last time you did that. Truth be told, Brandon, since you want to be so militant with this stuff and very combative with this conversation, the feedback that I got from the pros was this is the worst fucking song they've ever heard. And it was horrible lyrics. All right. I'm just trying to polish this up a little bit for you because I think people like Goofy. And I'm being dead honest with Podcast Imports 3. In order to make an event successful, I mean, it's going to be successful with Distinct Grace playing and us doing the games and the podcast and us being there and the two peers. And it's going to be fun. Beers and drinks and all that. It's going to be fun. But you have to tell a story behind it. I've told people this for decades, and very few people listen to me. In order to have a successful event, you have to have a story. That's why the Super Bowl is successful every year. It has very little to do with the two teams playing for the 4 quarters. It's the story that the media is able to put together for the Super Bowl. WrestleMania, for non-wrestling fans, who the fuck cares about wrestling every time WrestleMania happens? It's one of the largest sporting events in the world because the WWE are masters at telling stories. They tell a story. It's all about the story. The story's great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you hear the music that's out today, like the top 10, you got Shabuzi, you got Sabrina Carpenter. I mean, everything just sounds trash. So I'm like, I can easily write a trash song that's catchy and people will just like it.
Oh,
that's my thought process.
One of the new songs out today, the lyrics are horrible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Top 10 is dominated by that. So why would I not try to replicate that?
I'll tell you, man, this is just my opinion with your song and what you're trying to do. When you have a song and you let somebody hear it and they say to you, man, I like it, but it would be way better if, and they could change everything. No, I'm saying they could change the lyrics. They could change the beat. They could change the way the words are said. They could change everything. At the end of the day, who cares? I mean, I had this talk with Will because I went in and I tried to be like, hey, I wrote this song.
Oh, there goes his power.
Oh, there it goes. This is the air conditioning kicked on and took over his internet. So he
said it was a pretty bad storm up there. He might have lost connection. Might have got blackout.
I still haven't been able to get a hold of my guy.
Guy for what?
Remember, I was trying to call my buddy Jesse.
Yeah. And then DJ Jeff Retro called us back.
Yeah, we got let's try to call Jesse again. Let's see if we can get a hold of him. If he hears this, he can do wonders. I don't know why he's not picking up. He produces music. I don't know what his deal is.
Maybe he doesn't do phone calls. He just produces music. Might be busy.
Yeah. Out of sight, out of mind. Anyway, yeah, he's good. He gets a hold of it.
Hey, this is Jesse from Let's.
Yeah, see? No, he's not answering. All right. Well, I just wanted to give you some options. All right.
Yeah, like I said, I like the country version. I like it the best out of everything so far.
Sure. Well,
I'm rocking with it.
All right. You want me to?
But I need the tempo a little better. I gotta get the tempo right.
What do you want? More like a bro country like today? I tell you, when we leave the house, there's an app on our television, Vivo Music Videos, and it's always on country, which is fine because I like country music. But it plays a lot of newer country and country songs I've never heard of. They all sound the same.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like this, kind of talking what is it called? Auto-tune?
Auto-tune, yeah.
Kind of thing. It's and everything's very cliche country, and it's, in deep, got my hat, went down to the bar, got a beer, went up on stage, saw this woman dancing in the grave, and then it kicks into I'm just down in my truck, I don't give a fuck, that kind of thing. And they're all the same song.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to make a classic here. I'm just trying to make a song that lasts for 6 months to a year, just gets really hot and kind of fades off. Then you still got the people that kind of listen to it, and then on to the next one. I'm not trying to make music gold here.
No, yeah. And all the girls, they all look the same. They're all blonde hair. They all look like, Carrie Underwood Lights. They all, they all just kind of have the same vibe, and they all sound the same too. So,
yeah, I'm gonna cut this light on right here. It's getting a little dark in here.
All right. Well, I thought I did you solid. So now you kind of have some direction, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it kind of gave me a little better understanding of how the country sound would sound. Country rockish. Coetzel, you know what I'm talking about? Sure you don't.
Who?
Coetzel. You gotta look at one of the songs. I'll send you one. That's kind of the beat I'm going with.
Just text me. It says power's out.
Yeah, I just texted him. I said, is power out?
So here's a very valuable lesson for Chuck to learn is that you have to have a battery backup when you.
Well, how the heck? That ain't gonna help with Wi-Fi though, is it?
Yeah, I mean the Wi-Fi's not out. The power's out.
Oh yeah, I guess he ain't got satellite. I had to deal with that growing up as a kid. We had satellite, so power went out. We didn't have nothing.
No, you got to have one of those battery backups. Mine just went out, and then I broke it when trying to swap out the battery because it was just the battery.
That was a quick power outage.
It was like $150.
I think he had to watch that 12-second penis clip. What he had to do real quick. He was just thinking about that. He's like, oh, let me tell him power's out.
Now he's back and he's frozen again. Yeah, he's got and by the way, our Freebae, he just texted me again, fucking power's out. So we just have this picture of him. Buddy's going to kill me because our Freebae episodes we put up on YouTube.
At least he's smiling.
for the full episode so you can watch if you're a YouTube watcher. And I love all the new subscribers to our YouTube channel at The Bailey Show. So Buddy gets pissed off when I rearrange the boxes in our screen. And now he's going to be like, what the shit, man? You're going back and forth. And I got this still picture of Chuck up there. Well, just leave it, Buddy. Just leave it and let it up there. Just leave him smiling and put a caption up there. He's looking at the dick pic from How to Rob a Bank.
Now he's gone. You think the power's coming back on? I mean, it's just, did it go out twice? Is that what he's saying?
Went out twice. It came back and went.
Oh, Lord. Usually, I know the power thing, it surges 3 times to try to get it to kick back on. So he's got one more shot.
So I need you, Brandon, as the social media influencer that you are, okay, to and what I've learned, over these years of watching the different, I hate the word influencer. I hate the whole process.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
I hate the whole process. I hate everything that it stands for. Again, because there's no meaning behind it.
Well, I used to think that too. Like there was nothing like, influencer means you're influencing people to do something. And for the longest time, I did not think I was influencing people to do anything. But now there's so many copycat accounts out there that are doing the day one of doing this. And we're adding until we hit 1 million that were not around before I started doing my series. So I don't know if they just kind of, maybe the trend kind of caught on or if they learned it from me. But I still don't like the word influencer.
So something that kind of clicked the other day when reading this story, I don't know, did you hear the story about the Vikings player Kyrie Jackson who died in a car accident? He was a draftee, young guy, just driving, there's nothing bad to tell other than it's an unfortunate accident where he and his, I think, 2 buddies died in the accident. Did you hear anything about that young guy?
No, I didn't. Last one I heard was Henry Ruggs III. He killed that lady going like 120 miles an hour and into his career.
Yeah, okay, that was some years ago.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
This young man, he dies in a car accident. That's the story. At least as of right now during this episode, there's nothing to talk about with excess speed or drugs or alcohol or anything like that. Either way, young guy, very talented football player, dies in a car accident. Very, very sad. So the NFL mourns the passing. They do the picture. The all sportsy people, they post the picture. They say, thoughts and prayers and all these different things. So there's this popular TikTok guy named, what's his name? He's a sports TikToker, Rico Knows, and he's got 180,000 followers. Okay. I would think if you're that big, you'd have more than that, but I can't say anything because I don't have that many followers. But anyway, he's popular for whatever reason. And I go to his page and he's making news just really on one website. It was on Bro Bible. I'm on Bro Bible a lot. And the guy that wrote the story is this guy, George or Jorge Alonso. Looks like a young kid. And he writes a story about this TikTok guy who really kind of bashed the passing of Kyrie Jackson. And his whole gimmick was, look, he's an excellent football player. I'm not taking anything away from that. But he, everybody that I talked to, his teammates and stuff from college, they just said he was a bad person. Why would you say that? Why would you come out and say that about somebody that you don't know, that's a young kid, that died in a car accident? Within 24 hours, you post this. Why would you do that?
I mean, I guess you said he didn't personally know him. He just knew people that knew him.
Correct. He's trying to be a sportsy guy. He's trying to be the inside scoop sportsy guy.
Well, I kind of like, if it probably wasn't a good idea that he said that if he didn't personally know him, but that's what I hate when people die. They're like, oh, he was such a good man and he did this, he did that. But like, bitch, he robbed like 10 people and killed at least 3. He was not a good man. He might have died, but it's like, he was not a good man.
Right. That's not my point. My point is, and this guy's got every right to do it. He's got freedom of speech. He can go on and do it. And he gets a bunch of backlash from it. Rightfully so. Okay. I've got no dog in this fight. So and I didn't even know it existed until I read this article by this Jorge Alonso. That's the guy that I have the problem with. I don't have a problem with the TikTok guy. I have a problem with this idiot who wrote a story about it. Why the fuck would you write a story? Like, out of all the million things that you could write a story about and get published on Bro Bible, which is a very popular website and a very good website, I like it a lot, you then take the ink time to give this guy the attention, which is what he wants. So I started to think about it. And this younger generation take shots at what was once called shock jock mentality. Howard Stern, right? I see, the younger generation, when Howard makes the news, because he says something, he does something, they call him an old man, he's washed up, he's outdated, he doesn't know what he's talking about, he's a flip-flopper, he's this and this and that. And I'm going, do you guys understand that everything that you're doing on social media has been done before, just in a different way? What you're doing, what this TikTok guy has done, he's done shock jocking, right? You say something, you do something to shock an audience enough to get a reaction. That is what everything is about in this business, is to evoke emotion. If you can evoke emotion, then you have won. Now you have to ask yourself, what type of morals do you have? What type of ethics do you have? I would be a hypocrite if I were to say that I have never done something in my 30-year career in radio that I didn't believe in because I wanted to shock the audience. I've done it many times. And if I could go back and change it, I would, because it disgusts me now. But that's life. So is life, right? You make mistakes, you do it. You do it for the time, especially when I was younger in my career in that rock format. At that time, it was, you would try everything you can, and you'd always be compared to Howard Stern or Bubba the Love Sponge or Opie and Anthony, because they were the kings of shock jockeying, right? So when you came up with an idea, whether original or not, you would always be compared to it. So it was like a lose-lose situation. I was too stupid to be my own person and to come up with original content at that time. But now you see social media kids that are out there making fun of that mentality when you're doing the fucking same thing. So whether you're doing it on Instagram or YouTube or whatever your platform is, this Jorge Alonso is doing it as a writer. He's being a shock jock. Just like when we were talking about the Brat Pack documentary and the guy that named the Brat Pack, he was a writer for whatever it was published in after the Emilio Estevez interview. He wrote Brat Pack, and he admitted to it because he knew it would evoke emotion. It would shock the audience. Brat is a word that will pick up, right? If you use certain words, you know that people will pick them up. It just kind of all came into full light when reading this, and it drives me nuts because I see it every day. I'm like,
well, why does it drive you nuts? It's like it's kind of their job to report on shocking stories. I mean, I feel like it's a whole ecosystem. I mean, it happens all the time. Like TikTokers will get under fire, for something on social media, and then like a news station will pick it up, or, publishing a website, and they just start bashing them. And then you got the TikToker that comes back and talks about them. I just feel like it's more of an ecosystem of when it comes to media like that.
Well, here's what drives me nuts. It's not that it exists. It's that they don't know what they're doing because it exists. Like they will take shots at those that were before them and say that they're outdated and that they're doing it just for attention, when they're doing the exact same thing in which they should be honoring those people, like the Howards, like the Bubbas, like the O&As. And they should understand that everything that's happening on the internet now has been done before in radio in a different way. It's just evolved bigger and can spread farther. That's all it's done.
Well, I would argue that he does, like that publisher for Bro Bible does know what he's doing, because he knew, like you said, he is doing the same thing, but he's doing it in a different way. So, and then we got us talking about it. So now we're on the topic and subject of it. And, now we have our opinion. So I just think it kind of gets more, he knows when he posts this, there's going to be split sides. You're going to be like, why are you talking bad about this guy that did this? Or there's going to be some people be like, yeah, that guy's a piece of shit. Like, I'm glad you brought this up. Fuck that guy. But he just knows, no matter what, there's going to be controversy on either side. And he can, Bro Bible and him's going to benefit off it, because they're going to be like, yo, did you hear about that dude on Bro Bible? Or they're going to be sending their friends the article to go read it, and there's just more clicks and views for them.
I just, the whole, like, well, you're talking, that's very cliche. All I'm saying is like everybody that's doing, even the stuff that you're doing, you're just doing old radio bits, and radio can't do them anymore. When you're blowing something up, I've done many of those things. I've taken the car, blown the car up, bashed the car, done the fireworks out the butt, all these different things. They're all radio bits. I'm just saying, instead of being the young person that thinks you've invented the wheel, just admit that you're trying to reinvent the wheel. That's
I don't think it's as much as reinventing the wheels. Like, we got the wheel, we just kind of you know, we can kind of display it and get to more people easier with the visual and the amount of, you know, I would say there's a lot more people obviously on social media apps now than there ever was people listening to radio, I would say.
Maybe, well, yeah, obviously, because you have a farther reach. Again, you're missing my point. My point is not that I'm against people doing these things. No, I do what you want to do, whatever works for you. I'm just saying, don't be the person that bashes the stuff before you for the stuff that you're doing now. You're not doing, I'm not talking to you particularly.
Yeah, I know.
You're not doing anything that hasn't in some form been done before. You're not new, right? You're not doing anything new. A lot of it is luck. A lot of it is name. A lot of it is marketing. You know, I had posted something. I posted the little videos that I post. I call them snaps, teaser videos. That's what they are. They're teaser videos. In this business, there's something you tease. So I put out, Buddy, my videographer, he does these 60 to 90 second clips that I post on a daily basis, telling you that the podcast is up and I want you to listen to it, where to go, all that good stuff. Subscribe. You know, trying to get subscribers and more ears and eyes, put the hashtags and all that kind of stuff. And there was one that I had pulled from the Honey, I Raised the Kids podcast that I do with my wife that I release on Mondays. And it was about, so Kevin Simpson, who's a 2-peer, if you're in the private BS Facebook group, you've seen him post a million times. Great guy, lives in Georgia. He and his family were in Orlando, and we went out to dinner, and I was going to pay, because I appreciate everything that he's done for me, not only as a fan of the show and support of the show, but personally, he's come down to Florida. He's done some stuff at my mom's house. He's just a great person. I had no problem paying for dinner. My daughter was there with her friend, and when you know somebody is paying and you're at a place where you can order something like pizza or chicken wings, that it's like one price, but everybody kind of eats it, you fall in line, right? You don't order off the menu. That's something that's taught. I guess I've never taught my daughter, and definitely her friend has never been taught that. So I had in the podcast, we were talking about this and like jokingly just saying, hey, we've got to teach our daughter to read the room. That was the whole concept of the conversation, reading the room. And the clip that I pulled was like, ordering chick food like salmon or quiche. And my wife was like, no, she likes man meat like her mom. And I was like, no woman should be eating man meat. It was a joke. If you listened to the whole episode, it would have made sense. That's the whole point of the teaser videos. Some asshole goes on, I don't know whether it was TikTok or YouTube, and it was like clickbait, this guy's a jerk, and then this guy hates women and all these types of things. And I respond back to him like, did you listen to the full episode? Of course, I get no response. That was a shock jock teaser, not overly shocking, but it was to get you to evoke emotion, to get you to listen to the episode. These people were just too fucking lazy to listen to the whole episode and thought that they were cool and had balls to comment on what they heard in 60 seconds. You understand?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what you want. I feel like shock jock's been around since the beginning of time, though, with like propaganda. Like you just have, the same thing with the headline with news. You got something big and, big black letters, and you got a bunch of little below it. People just see the headline. They're like, oh my God, I want to read that. Because you got to, I think the world is probably based on shock jockness. Just like saying one thing, and then people are like, oh my God, I'm not really reading into it. I just heard this guy say this one sentence, or this is the headline, something big and major. Like no one's going to care if it's like, oh, we got fresh water at the well today. You got to be like something never seen at the well in 150 years. Like, oh shit, we got water.
Right. I'm just trying to explain it to people, for those that are hating, that you understand. And for those that get it, understand, it like kind of came into the full picture. And I was just like, so this guy does it, and this other guy bites off of his bit to gain an audience. I'm not biting off the bits to try to, get somebody to respond. I don't give a shit if you respond or not. It's not going to affect my life one way or the other. But I see all these things, and I still love the industry of radio. I might not be on the radio right now, but I still love the business of radio. Radio invented that kind of thing. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that, because there were writers before that were, doing headlines, kind of like what you said, Brandon. But, in the 80s and 90s, and even, in the 70s, the Wolfman Jacks and stuff like that, they were doing these types of things, so I just think with those shock jocks, there was more meat and potatoes to it. There was a story behind it. You know, like when Bubba killed the pig on the air and received the largest fine the FCC ever put out, you know, all people like a young person now would hear is this, you know, fat radio guy kills pig on the air. God, he must have not been too creative or too clever. Okay. What they don't know is the story that the night before or 2 nights before on Survivor on CBS, they had killed a pig on TV to eat. And so his whole shtick, I believe, was, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And so he did it, and they consumed the pig afterwards. But they killed the pig on the air. So you hear that, you know, I mean, it was pretty rough, right?
Yeah, but I feel like that's how you get all levels of interaction and your word out there. Like if someone only wants to contribute, you know, 2 seconds out of their day to see what you did, yeah, they're just gonna read the headline. They're gonna be like, okay, they want to do a little more. They might read the article, you know, it might take them another couple minutes, but if they really want to know, they're gonna watch, you know, listen to the whole episode or watch the whole TV show. I think it's just a way of getting different attention spans of people. You know, you're capitalizing on 3 different attention spans: short, medium, and long. When you have something shocking like that.
That's why when we do Podcast and Pours 3, you're going to shock the world when you perform the song.
Bradley's in a Cadillac, smoking weed and doing crack.
Even though, you know what people really want since it's going to be in October?
What?
Dollar store.
Oh, yeah.
Halloween costume contest.
We did it the last one.
Yeah, we did. No, we didn't do the dollar store. We just did a costume contest.
Yeah, well, yeah, costume in general, no dollars, as many dollars as you want.
I don't know how I would pull that off here. It's, you know, what's funny is one of the guys in that clip, when I recorded that 20 years ago, at least, he just texted me the other night. He owns, his name's Gannon, called Magic Man because he does magic. But he owns a blow, and you'd get along great with Gannon. This dude's awesome. He owns an axe throwing and a glass blowing place here in Orlando, in Apopka. And he texts me. He was like, hey, dude, come on out. Let's throw some axes and blow some glass. And I've been to his place before, and it's amazing. Like, absolutely one of the coolest and most fun places to be. And I was thinking about that. I was like, God, that night when I recorded that, it was at the radio station at WJRR, and I was doing nights, and I just got off the air, and I forget I came up with a bit, and then I was like, I need an intro, and I forget how I came up with that concept, but I was just grabbing anyone that was still at the radio station, and Gannon is the reason there's a flute. He was playing the flute. For some reason in this production room, there was a toy, it was a white plastic toy flute. And he played that flute in that thing. And still to this day, over about 20 years or however long it's been. Yeah, I guess about 20 years. Yeah, 20 years. It still exists. And people like the from it. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's good. Catchy little jingle. It could have been like Charlie Sheen, 2.5 Men. If he should have led the jingle life. When you say blowing glass, I feel like we're about to do some drugs or something.
No,
we'll blow some glass like smoking crack.
Hey, you were talking in yesterday's episode about your buddy Woodshed Ted.
Yeah, huh?
You got to get him on the show so we can talk to him.
Oh, he just brought me a beer down here.
Oh, you should have just put him on. So Woodshed Ted, so he's allowed in the house. So Woodshed Ted, if you missed yesterday's episode, since it's a subscriber episode, I will tell you that it's one of Brandon's friends that now lives in his backyard in one of those Home Depot sheds. It's got a little porch, and they've rigged it with electricity, with a extension cord that comes from the house. They've got an air conditioning unit in the window, and now they want to put a bar, and it's like their new party place, even though the damn thing's like 12 by 12.
12 by 32. It's a nice little spaciousness.
12 by 32. And this guy lives out there, and he picks up some of the rent, so Brandon doesn't have to pay all the rent, right?
Oh, no, I still pay the same. So now we have 4 people living here, August, Justin, and me. Me and Justin each pay $500, and then now Matthew pays $500, so that's $1,500. So that covers the mortgage.
How much does he pay to live in your backyard?
$500 plus the $380 for the shed. So he's almost got a mortgage, but his credit's pretty bad, so can't get a real place.
So he doesn't own the shed.
He will in 3 years.
So he pays you $500 for space in your backyard.
Yep, it pays August.
Okay, well, that's what I mean. Okay, so this guy, Woodshed Ted, your buddy, pays $500 just to have space in your backyard for his shed, which he's paying $385 on for the next 3 years.
Yep, that's right.
What about utilities? Does he pay any utilities?
No, just 500 flat rate, even though I think the power bill probably is going to be a little high this month. That AC unit's just running 24/7 at the moment.
And he doesn't realize that for $900, he could probably have a place of his own.
He's got like a 27 for a credit score. Obviously not that low, but it's pretty bad.
You can't get anyone to co-sign.
No, because they know his credit history, so they don't really want to sign. That's why this is honestly the best scenario for him, because he's here. We can help him out. He goes to work with me. He's about to get another job, so he'll be all right. He'll get there.
Is he an outdoorsman?
Yeah, he'd live anywhere.
I mean, is he an outdoorsy guy?
Yeah, I mean, he works outside all the time, so
I mean,
out there.
Is he a hiker? Is he a camper?
Oh no, he's like us, like a beer drinker.
Oh, okay. Because if he was, I need to talk to him because I'm about to enter that world, I think.
Oh, you're gonna be a cabin in the woods?
No, okay. So here's the deal. My daughter's about to go to the University of Alabama, right? And we went up, and if you listen to Monday's Honey, I Raised the Kids podcast, you'll hear this whole story of orientation. And we go up, and my wife, who's a horrible travel booker, like, don't let her pick where you're going to stay. So she books us a Best Western, right? And I'm kind of a hotel snob. I'm a little bougie when it comes to hotels. It wasn't horrible, but, she, to her credit, trying to save some cash. It's me, my wife, and our daughter in one room in a Best Western, overlooking the pool, mind you. $79 a month, free breakfast.
A month?
I mean, I'm sorry, a night.
Oh, I'm about to go live there. Best Western. Hell yeah. Got a pool, got breakfast. Hell yeah.
I meant a night. So, but this was the Best Western, like right off the interstate. So every person that's doing construction was staying there.
Yeah, they stay in hotels like that a lot. Woodshed Ted.
Yeah, so the parking lot was filled with utility vehicles and a bunch of fluorescent shirt guys. So there was a line at the Continental Breakfast every morning. Anyway, so then we check in, and it was fine. It was great. We dealt with it. It was like 10 minutes from the school. So we go to the school, we do the orientation, and so on and so forth. Now we have to figure out that during football season, what we're going to do, because we're going to have to come up numerous times throughout the school year. She joins a sorority. They've got parents' weekend, so I can Frank the Tank it. If a football game, I've never been to a University of Alabama football game. I don't know the ins and outs. Can you buy tickets?
I've got to say about the parents' weekend. We went up to Athens when it was parents' weekend, and I will tell you, Rachel will be hit on a lot.
By who?
College kids.
Fuck that, dude.
I swear to God, dude, all the moms up there were like, getting fucking hit on left and right by college kids. And some of them were hooking up with them too. So keep an eye on her.
Did you hook up with a mom during parents' weekend?
No, I didn't. But I know some people that did. I'm just, it's very, we didn't know it was parents' weekend. It's very odd. You just got you can tell the dads don't really want to be there, especially when they're there for their daughters. Like usually the dudes' parents don't come up as much. It's usually the moms, for the sororities and dads. And they're just like, I saw a lot of regulators just kind of hanging out, and the moms are just woo, and the daughters are woo, and everyone's woo, and all the college dudes are like, hell yeah, double the chances.
You saw college kids banging moms during parents' weekend.
I saw them. I saw many of moms making out with hopefully weren't their sons, but they were very young dudes, like college age, and they would live with them. Yes, so I would imagine you follow the trail, you're probably gonna get somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah, so you want to watch out for that.
You see,
especially Rachel. Rachel's a good looking woman, so she's gonna be getting hit on. She might even pass as like a late college student. Some of them like, oh yeah, I bet you're a senior, aren't you?
Were the dads like fighting these kids?
No, they're just like, it seems like there was just like dads that are used to their wives just kind of like going crazy, like a 40+ bar. And now they're here with young blood and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna have fun. But yeah, the dads are just kind of, hanging back just at the table, drinking them a beer, just kind of scouting out everything.
That's a nightmare. Can you imagine at my age, at her age, and then losing your wife your relationship is done because
Yeah.
he goes and bangs a college kid during parents' weekend. Like, that's the worst story ever to tell.
Yeah, I mean, I'm knowing you'll probably be pretty stressed out just of all the people and the rambunctiousness because they're gonna want to go to bars. That's usually what you do. You go to a bar and hang out there and watch the game afterwards, or because sometimes people come, they stay till halftime if it's a blowout. They go to the bars downtown, hang out. That's where I saw a lot of the parents hanging out downtown with their kids at the bars and just drinking and chilling. And obviously they've got fake IDs by then, but
Well, you know how you offset that.
don't go to the bars.
No. If I'm going to go to a parents' weekend at the University of Alabama, and you're telling me during those weekends, the college guys hit on the hot moms, and if my wife were to go that direction, don't think that I'm not finding that dude's girlfriend and taking her back to my Best Western for $79 a month with a free continental breakfast.
Yeah. You'll have her won over. Tell her you're going to cook her breakfast. You'll have breakfast ready in the morning. She'll come right with you. Tell her it's clean. There's not 15 other dudes in the same house. You'd be good to go.
I mean, how hard is it really to pick up a college girl if you have $100 in your pocket?
Yeah, you do pretty good down there. Y'all should just have a little experimental night.
Yeah, I bet you like I never even in a million years thought about that scenario. It wasn't even anything to do with my story, but I've never even thought about that scenario. You got those swinger couples. So, I mean, everybody's of age. You don't have to worry about finding somebody that's under the age of 18. And, you'd be who was that televangelist guy that loved watching the young dude bang his wife? And he would sit there and watch it. And then it got out of hand where she liked it so much, she would just go off and find the guy who was like a pool guy at a motel in like South Florida or something. Like, that's the weirdest thing ever. Like, how does that turn you on?
Yeah, parents' weekends were always an odd thing to me. Like, I didn't even want my parents coming to like orientation in high school. Like, nah, we ain't got to do that. Or parent teacher night or wherever, they come in and check out the school after like you've been there for a month. And especially when you get to college, it's just so weird to me. It's like, I do not want my parents in this scene. This is because your mom's going to get hit on regardless. I mean, the college students do not give a fuck. They're going to hit on you and like give it their best shot. They're going to be drunk as shit. And then if they say no, all right, on to the next mom or on to your daughter, one of the two.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah, it's an ordeal.
You've like now got me dreading this one. Like before, I was very excited about it.
I'm about to say, you sound so happy about a parents' week. I was like, I don't know if he knows how parents' weekends go at colleges.
Shit, man, this is gonna suck.
Yes, not a fun time.
Why were you there? You never went to the University of Georgia.
Oh yeah, I did. I mean, I didn't attend, but I went there often for games. I had buddies that went there, hang out, party, go to games. Hey, I did all the fun stuff without having to pay $60,000 a year
or get a degree.
Yeah, fuck that shit. I just wanted to pop in and out a few times, see what's going on.
So when we were there, we were asking about the football games, and having to come up a couple times, and they're already getting booked out. Even the Best Western. I mean, there's like, I guess some hotels that are in downtown or right across from the stadium, which is gorgeous, by the way, and they're charging like $400 a night, and the Airbnbs are booked out a year in advance. And they're charging like $900 a night.
Yeah, I told you that last time we talked about this. The same thing with Georgia. All the home games, like if I would try to get a hotel or an Airbnb in Athens right now on a home game, you're fucked. You can't get them. Especially with a good school, especially a good SEC school where people love college football. They're going to be booked up.
All right, so what do we do if we're going to go up there? What do we do? So we came up with the idea of buying a bed trailer. I guess it's called a fifth wheel.
You're talking about one that hooks into your truck, or like you just convert the back of your truck into a bed area?
No. Like I'll put it on the back of my truck.
But there's no trailer behind you, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there is a trailer.
There's a trailer behind me, and you're like, when you stop, the damn thing opens up, and you got a kitchen, and you got a bathroom.
Oh, a pop-up.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, that thing. And then you go to a camping ground, and I guess you plug it into some stuff, and you get electricity, and you get the toilet.
And water,
and they have amenities, and they charge you like $50 a night to camp out there.
Oh, those book up quick too. Yeah, they really do. I mean, it's hard to find a place. The only reason we were able to go when we went up there is because we just crashed in my buddy's apartment. We had like 10 motherfuckers sleeping on a couch and an air mattress and chairs and whatnot. But yeah, it's hard to find places at these SEC schools, especially if they're good. You can go to Vanderbilt all day long, but
yeah, right.
Georgia or Alabama, even Auburn, dude, it's hard.
So, the only thing I worry about is backing the damn thing up. I learned a little bit about it from my neighbor in California. He's good at that stuff. He's like, always turn into the trailer. Yeah, because you always want to think you want to turn the opposite way. But if you look in your, the side mirror and you see the trailer and it's kind of jackknifed, you turn into it to straighten it out. Lesson learned. Okay. So I don't want to get a big RV because I don't want to drive the damn thing. But I can get one of those trailer things. I think I can handle that. And then we just sleep in that. But that means I'd have to do camping stuff. And I'm not a camper guy. I'm not a fan. For those that do it, bless your heart, I understand why you do it. It's just not my shtick. So I'm thinking that's the best. I need someone that's a pro at doing this, particularly at the University of Alabama, to give me the playbook on how to go up there and for a reasonably priced weekend and stay, and where to stay and how to stay.
I tell you, parents' weekend, man. You and Rachel just handshake deal. You split up. You go to your own dorm room somewhere else, and you stay free for the night. Then you'll just wake up in the morning and take your walk of shame and hop on the truck and drive home 8 hours.
So you're suggesting that I go find a college girl and try to hook up, which would be probably impossible, and my wife go find a college guy, which would be the easiest thing in the world. And then the next morning, hook up, say, hey, how was last night? Hit up the Waffle House and come on back home.
Yeah, you could do it. It'd be an experience. It'd be a night. Or you could, do what a lot of girls say. This is my gay best friend. Can he stay? He's my chaperone. And you just crash on the couch with the dudes.
You got me worried about this now a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, I thought you would have known. It's parents' weekends. Like I said, it's weird. It's like, why would you want to bring your parents here when you finally got your freedom and you're doing all these bad things that you're not supposed to do, and your parents think you're being a good little person up there at college? And I don't know, man. I don't think I'd want my parents to see how I lived there.
I never had a parents' weekend. So like when I never had it, nor would I want it.
Think about how bad it would have been if your parents or your mom came up there and, she's getting hit on by all these dudes at the bar.
Right. Yeah. I'd have a problem with that.
Yeah. See, that's why I would not bring my parents. Odd. Just an odd thing. Whoever the fuck came up with it had to been like a fraternity president or something. Like, how do we get more MILFs here? How do we get more MILFs? Like, parents' weekend, bro. Tell the girls to bring their parents down here.
Do me a favor and do a little internet searching and see if there's like Facebook groups for this or whatever, like a community on Snapchat or something. I bet you like it's a thing now that you bring it up.
Oh, it is. No, I swear it's 100%. I'm not lying. I'm not joking. I've seen it with my own eyes. Couple dudes, they were some older women that I'm 95% sure were moms to some student there. And then, they just leave. And where do you plan on going? You're not going to the wishing well and tossing pennies in.
You're going to bang.
Yeah, you're going to bang, man. College dudes down there, man, they can walk in about any house, anywhere, any apartment and be like, hey, bro, I use your bed real quick. Like, yeah, go ahead. Bang.
I know.
Bang.
Done it. I've seen it. I know. I just thought everybody's a little bit more mature now.
Oh, no. Complete opposite.
Jesus, I guess not. All right.
One question with Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon! Let's go, Brandon!
All right, what's your one question, Brandon?
All right. So, you get old, right? At what point are you dying instead of living?
Okay.
Like without having like any medical, like a doctor telling you, like you're going to die by 60 if you keep smoking or anything. Okay.
So before I answer that, it's very interesting you say that. And also the banging thing. So I'd made up a term the other day. I was at the gym and I made up a term called, the love danger zone. And what I realized is that there's an age that's the same age for both men and women. It's just they're different rules where you're in the love danger zone. And that age group would be like 39 to 59. If you're a guy in the love danger zone between the ages of 39 and 59, most likely, and you're single, not saying all y'all, I'm just saying a lot of y'all, fucking douchebags, right? They're the guys that you see at the gym, think they're ripped to shreds, think they're these beasts. They go into the gym every once in a while, don't even know how to work out properly. They're just doused with Dracar, whatever cologne of choice. And they're just trying to find somebody to hook up, and they'll fuck anything. And they'll lie, they'll do anything they want. They most likely sell cell phones for a living at the age of 45, whatever, and they're just total douchebags because they've either just gotten out of a relationship and they're trying to relive their glory days, or they've never been in a relationship and they just think they're still in their 20s, right? They're wearing these tight t-shirts and these little shorts and stuff. They drive me insane. And I only say that because of a small sample size that I saw. For women in the love danger zone, it's an unfortunate circumstance where you're most likely have gone through a divorce. You probably have a kid or two, and you're trying to find, somebody to be your companion, but you're dealing with those guys in the love danger zone that are being dicks to y'all and playing you and lying to you because they want to bang everything they can. And all you want to do is find a baby daddy and live a happy life. There's a love danger zone. So for relationship wise, 39 to 59 is that love danger. Now, when you get out of 59, you have something in common. Life kind of slows down a little bit. You both want the same thing, companionship, because you only got maybe 30 more years left, tops. Before that, you're testing the waters. That's when you get married. Hopefully it works. Maybe it doesn't, blah, blah, blah. But once you get out of it, it's a lot tougher. And that makes sense. Now, as far as when do you start living and when do you start dying, are you talking physically or mentally?
I'm talking about, no, I would say physically. Like you just, are you, if I died at 50, did I start dying this year at 25 when I turned 25 in February? Like, am I slowly on the decline? Like I'm dying, like, I'm halfway through.
Technically you're dying the day you're born.
I don't think so. I think you're living until a certain point.
No,
like you've got to get up, and then you're like, all right, you've hit your halfway point of living. You're climbing. Now you're going down. You're dying.
No, physically you're dying. It's like you have so many minutes left in the game, and as soon as you take your first breath, the clock ticks. You're dying. I mean, I know that's like the pessimistic way to look at it, but and for those free spirit and live life people, they're like, no, that's when you just start living and you never stop living. And physically you're starting to die. Now, mentally, I would say you're just starting to live.
Well, I would say if you think about like a tree, like a sapling, you plant it, it starts as a seed and it slowly starts growing up. Like it's a living. And then it gets to a point where it's too big and it's almost there and doesn't have enough water around it because other trees are sucking it up. And then it starts dying, slowing down.
As soon as you plant that seed, the tree starts to die.
I don't think so. I mean, it's got to live first. You got to live before you can die.
Right. You've now, second it starts to live, second you plant that seed and it starts to live, it starts to die. Physically.
But you got to live first. So you're saying if, a baby living at 1 minute,
nope.
Is it going to die at 2?
No.
Like it got halfway living. No. Now it's on the way down to dying.
No. I'm not giving it a time frame. I'm just saying the overall picture is the second you start living is the second you start dying. Physically. But mentally, that's different. Now, mentally, for the optimistic part of this, I would say that's all up to the individual. I would think that you're living mentally up until the day you take your last breath. If you can get the best out of whatever day you're having.
Maybe this is a better way to put it. Think about a tomato plant, right? You plant a tomato plant, comes up, the fruit starts forming, it gets plump. It's perfect. It's where you want it. It lived all the way up to that point. Now, if you don't pick it then, it's slowly starting to die. It's going to start rotting and it's going to start getting bad and it's going to, you're not going to be able to enjoy it.
I understand what you're saying. Okay, I'll give you the answer that you're looking for. Okay, since you don't like my answer. I would say that there are different ages that you start to deteriorate. Okay. I would say the first age of deterioration physically for both men and women, and it's going to change a little bit for both because of our body makeups, but definitely would be 30. 30 is when you get hit with the life stick and you go, I know for me, as a former athlete, as a guy that was a gym rat that used to train 4+ hours a day, that was in tip-top shape and blah, 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 blah. When I was in my 30s, I mentally thought I still looked the same. Even though I was starting to buy bigger clothes and, bigger waistbands, I thought that it was good. It was still that football mentality of, that's muscle. That's, I'm putting on the weight. That's good. That's good. And if it weren't for me walking into my buddy Jeremy's place, which I was just in the other day, actually, the medical weight loss place, and I stepped on the scale, I would have not realized how fat I had gotten. And I was like 30 plus pounds overweight, and it was gooey. There was like no muscle tone because I wasn't training anywhere near as close as I was before. So physically, your body starts to deteriorate at 30 if you allow it to. Now, here's the caveat to this. Because at 49, I feel like I look better now than I did at 29. And a lot of that has to do, go on my testosterone maintenance. If there's a guy that's over 40, that's not on testosterone maintenance, please call me. Like, I would sit there and tell you should be doing, there's no reason not to do testosterone maintenance. It gives you so much more life, energy and how you look and how you feel and confidence and all that stuff. It's not steroids. It's a different thing. There's synthetic. It's just totally different. It's legal. It's safe. Doctor and all that good stuff. Now, as far as die, I guess like you want to say you would go the retirement age, which doesn't really exist anymore. It's 65. But I see guys that are 65. I was playing with a guy that's 72 the other day. I was playing poker with him. He looked like he was 50, and then you go, well, 50 is old. No, not anymore. Not if you take care of yourself. So I think that, it's a loaded question because times have changed. You could see a guy that's 75, 80 years old that looks in great shape, but you don't know his ticker. Okay, let's take my father-in-law, for example. My father-in-law is, I think, 65-ish years old. The man is built like a bodybuilder. He's in fantastic shape. His cardio is second to none. The guy can bike for miles without breaking a sweat. He just out of nowhere a couple weeks ago has a heart attack, the Widowmaker. If they wouldn't have caught it in time, he would be dead. He then has emergency quadruple bypass surgery, then just finds out he's got prostate cancer. They're catching it early, which is good. But a day before, if we were to talk about people that I thought would live forever, that are in the best shape of their lives, he would be on the top of that list. Hands down. Without a doubt.
So you think that, seeing all this light and you hear a heart attack, prostate cancer, even though, it's early on, glad they caught both of that, but you think he started dying at like 40 or 50? And they're like, if they would have caught it at 50, they're like, hey, 50 is the point where you're going to start having these problems. Now you're kind of going downhill. You're going to have these medical conditions and everything, and you're just not going to be as healthy as you were up to 50.
Well, no, I wouldn't even say when he had the heart attack, he started dying. Because now what's happened, and this happens with a lot of people that have that heart attack and they have bypass surgery, whether it's quadruple or not, is what the doctors do is they clean you out. So it's like you have dirty pipes and they clean them out, which adds years on your life. We get to an age where if we're, we can't stay on top of everything, right? We just don't know. So your body starts to, fold, and then it fails. And if they catch it in time, like in my father-in-law's case, thank God, they go in and they clear him out, he's going to be great. Now, the prostate cancer is a totally different thing, but I don't want to say that he's starting to die. I'm just saying that his body's breaking down. With them catching it could add years to his life. Just because you have a heart attack doesn't mean you're starting to die. It just means your body broke down at that moment. I know it sounds silly, but it means your body broke down at that moment. You can be fixed. I know what you're saying, and I know what you want. It's just, and that's what the bit is. It's a question that's fucking impossible to answer. So, it's a very philosophical answer.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I feel like, you could be as healthy as, and you could die, 45, and you'd just be good mentally, physically. But at some point there, your body was like, all right, something bad is going to happen. So I don't know if I was looking for a number or a year or just like, what.
Brandon, you at 25 look like you're dying. You
I do.
You take horrible care of your body. If you feel and look like this now at 25 because of your lifestyle, what are you going to be at 30? Add 5 years to that. 5 years is a lot. So how are you going to feel when you're going to look at 30? Look, I went through years of not doing the things that I was supposed to do either. That's why, when my generation, Gen Xers, when I was younger, I'll never forget my mom telling me this. I'm sitting there and I'm training. She's like, you got to get a job. I was like, I don't have time for a job. She's like, what do you mean you don't have time for a job? I was like, because I'm in the gym all day. I'm training for football. I was playing college football. And not that I was ever going to go pro, but that's what I did. And that's what I did for school. That's paid for some of my school. Not that I needed it, but that was what I was doing. She didn't understand the importance of the exercise. And the boomers, most of them didn't understand that. They weren't educated on that. Most Gen Xers, not educated. We looked at it as a privilege, not a right. You know what I mean? It was an you would add it on to it. Kind of like what massages are now or chiropractors are on now. It's like, I think I'm going to treat myself to a massage. You know what? Your body should be getting a massage at least once a month because your body needs it. It's like, I'm going to treat myself and sleep 8 hours. Your body should be sleeping 8 hours if you want to live, if you want a full life, just because it's better for you. You know what I mean? So to understand this generation, especially like my daughter's generation, and you can thank TikTok for this, it's filled with fitness videos. It's filled with, quote unquote, cute outfits for the girls, right? And guys are back to that mentality, not that bullshit like my son's generation where there was that, no body shaming and that fucking generation, which was horrible, that 5-year span of like, look at me, I'm fat and out of shape, love me for this. Okay, that's great. I don't think you're a bad person because you're fat. I just think you're unhealthy because you're fat. You know what I mean? It's like, do something about it. I'm not stereotyping you as a horrible person because you're overweight. I am telling you that it's not good going forward down the road.
Yeah. I mean, like I feel like a lot of the problems nowadays is with people that aren't in shape like they used to be is just time and money for the most part. Like fat shaming, that's dumb as hell. You're either fat or you're not, or, you look disgusting or you look good. We need a little bit more bullying coming back. Not a lot, but a little bit of bullying helps. But as far as, like right now, I mean, I just don't know. I'm just working all the time and I want to golf, I want to go do something I enjoy, not go out, run, a couple miles. I mean, when I do golf, it's very active. If I didn't have to work and I was, rich and famous, whenever I get there, I'll get back in the gym. I'll have the money to eat healthy. I'll go play golf. I'll just live my life.
Let me tell you, those are all excuses. Can you find 20 minutes in your day?
Yeah.
You can exercise. You can.
Well, I exercise. What do you mean by exercise? You mean like push-ups or like walking or running?
You can put together a very good cardio-based, weight-based, strength-resistant exercise in 20 minutes. If that's all the time you have, there are plenty of workouts. DDP, his yoga, he's got 20-minute workouts, yoga workouts that you can do in your bed. It's as long as you get your heart rate up, bring it down, and pull it back up to get your metabolism working. And
well, I mean, I do that on a daily basis with working. I mean, I'm outside in 100-degree heat and I'm digging constantly for 30 minutes. Then I take a break. Then I'm walking around. I get 15, 20,000 steps a day for the most part. And then I go golf. I'll go hit the golf balls in the backyard for 2 hours and I'm sweating like crazy out there. I mean, I get it in, but it's just like I would want to do more if I had the time, but I want to do it with something I enjoy or I have to do.
As far as eating right, you could do prepackaged meals on Sunday, put them together for the week, know when you're going to eat. Tell me what you ate on Friday during a work day. Run down what you ate.
During Friday, I didn't woke up. We went and worked, got done around lunchtime, about 3-ish, went over to Carvella's, got 2 slices of pizza, 2 beers, and then went and worked some more. And then I might've had a sandwich that night.
Okay, well, you're not eating enough, first off.
I hear people say that too. I'm always confused on people always like, you need to fast or you need to eat more or you need to fast. You need to eat more. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do.
Well, if you're fasting, I fast until about noon, just because I'm trying, there's a certain regimen I'm doing. So if you're trying to lose weight, fasting is not a bad thing. But in order to speed up your metabolism, you should eat every 2.5, 3 hours. So if you wake, especially a job like yours where you need energy in the morning, so you wake up in the morning. Now, maybe you can't make eggs and bacon and pancakes and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? You can have an instant oatmeal. It takes you 2 minutes. Put it in
but me, my stomach in the morning is fucking terrible. I can't
Okay.
I cannot eat. And if I get, I can't even eat lunch. If I eat lunch, I get just like, I don't want to go back to work. So usually I just work all day and don't eat till 7 on rare occasion, 6 or 7 on rare occasions. We'll swing by Carvel's, get a slice of pizza and a beer for lunch.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a pizza and a beer every once in a while. But if you're trying to eat healthy and get your metabolism up so your body's working for you throughout the day, I mean, pack a cooler, put in some protein cookies or granola bars or something with as low as sugar as possible. But you probably actually need the carbs and the sugar, and you're still at an age where you can burn them off. So, it just all depends on what your activity is. Like when people talk diets and all these different things, there's not one diet that's fit for everybody. Like you'll see online, they're just bombarded like, hey, you want to get like this? You want to get like, everybody's different. So everybody's body's different, so you have to, and everybody's schedule is different. So you have to do what works for you. Do I eat the best? Hell no. I don't eat the best, but I try to watch what I eat. So if I were to lose weight, and I'm listening to what you're doing, and I would say, okay, well, at this restaurant, instead of getting 2 pieces of pizza, what could you have had instead? You, I'm sure, could have probably gotten like a Caesar salad with a protein on top, like chicken. It might not be as good as the piece of pizza. Or instead of getting 2 pieces of pizza, you get 1 piece of pizza, right? Maybe not do, load it up with pepperoni and sausages, maybe just do cheese or do a different type of pizza. Instead of doing a Budweiser, you do a Bud Light. And that was like, when I lost the weight, that was a really important thing that was taught to me, is that you go through what you normally eat and then go, all right, how can I still fitting in? Because you have to enjoy the food you're eating or it's not going to work. So how do you substitute little by little? So I would go to Subway a lot, and I love that seafood and crab. And I like to put that Southwest sauce on there, and all the cheeses and all that stuff. So it was like, okay, instead of getting a 12-inch, get a 6-inch. Okay, fair. Instead of using yellow cheese, use white cheese. Instead of putting mayonnaise on there, take it off. Just put mustard on there. Instead of doing seafood and crab, why don't you do turkey? So it's all these different things. I'm saving 100 calories there. I'm saving 100 calories there. I'm saving 100 calories there. So at the end of the week, when you add it all up, you're down 1,500 calories than you were prior, what you were doing. And then you have to know how many calories you burn actively at night. People don't realize that they burn a lot of active calories at night when they sleep, especially if you can get your metabolism up.
See, when I hear that just makes me like, oh, fuck that. I'd just go to the gym at that point. Like, I feel like I'd rather endure, a couple hours of training, a day versus restricting what I eat and drink. And I feel like that's the best part of life. Like, yeah, eat this, drink that. I don't want to have to be counting calories all the time. I just want to be to the point where I can be active enough during the day, all day, to where I'm burning more than I could possibly intake.
But it's not like that. It is at first, but when you start to get used to it and you find foods that you enjoy, you're not counting like you're not sitting there. At first you are, but then as you start to get into a routine, you're realizing in your head, it just automatically pops in. You're like, okay, I'm still trying to shed 10 pounds. So maybe instead of this, I'm going to have this, because I still enjoy that. And I don't necessarily need that. It's just what my body's used to. A lot of our food habits have not little to do, but it's not always about what you want. It's what you're used to. So if you're used to going out with the fellas every Friday night and doing wings and beer and blue cheese and ranch and all that stuff, your body's used to it. And there's peer pressure to that, not only by your friends, but by your body. So if you're able to break that cycle and then said, okay, well, look, I'm going to do chicken wings. There's nothing wrong with doing chicken wings, right? I'm going to do baked chicken wings or smoked chicken wings, not fried chicken wings. You know what? And I'm going to stay away from the blue cheese and the ranch. You do that, you've cut a couple hundred calories. You still enjoyed it.
I just don't see how you can enjoy wings without ranch or blue cheese. That's just one of the things you got to have on it,
Maybe that was a bad example, because I agree with you. You do have
who the fuck's out here eating wings with nothing on it? You fucking psycho. Yeah, they'll take you to the jail. You'll lose a lot of weight.
I agree. That was a bad example. Sorry. I should have said something else, because you're
maybe
right.
Ketchup. I try to stay away from ketchup because I know that's got a lot of sugar in it. And I'm like, okay, I'll stay away from ketchup for the most part. But when it comes to a burger, it got to have ketchup on it. Ketchup, mustard.
Well, that's another thing. Like a burger, like, do you have to put it on a bun? Now, granted, as a burger guy, part of making a good burger is a good bun.
Yeah. See, I can't be out there at the function eating a damn lettuce wrap burger.
Yeah, I know. Well, you just take a patty. You get used to it after a while. I mean, when I lost that weight, dude, I totally changed everything that I ate. And at first, it was a little bit of a struggle, and it got to a point where I was shedding weight so fast, and I was getting ready to go to Vegas. And my nutritionist Jeremy, he said, "What I want you to do is shock your body. Now, once you go out to Vegas, and I want you to eat anything you want." And I was like, really? And that's also when I switched alcohol, which was a huge thing when I went to just vodka and soda water. He was like, would you rather eat your calories or drink your calories? I was like, well, that's a good point. I'd rather eat my calories. He's like, you can still have the alcohol, just find a substitute that doesn't have as many calories in it. I was like, okay. So I go out to Vegas. My whole mindset on that flight out there was there's a burger place at where we were staying, and they had the best burgers. And I'm going there, and I think Nate was with me, and I was like, "We're checking in, we're putting our bags down, and we're going to have a burger." That was that's I'm gonna. I was told that I can do this, and we go in there, and I order this big fucking burger, and I sit down, and it literally grossed me out, and I couldn't even get through a quarter of it.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I want to be like that. Like, in your situation, you work out a lot, I ain't played tennis a while, but when you were, it's like, could you just add an extra hour of either working out or playing tennis to offset the shit that you just want to eat in general?
Yeah, but why don't you change that mindset and go, okay, well, why don't I do this? Not add an extra hour, or even if I did add an extra hour, then I would be even in better shape and less weight versus trying to offset. You hear people say that all the time. They're like, oh, you know what? I'll spend an extra 30 minutes on the bike tomorrow. Okay. Well, why do that when, add an extra 30 minutes, but still do what you're supposed to do. And now you're even that much ahead of the curve.
Yeah, because I think people want to enjoy, food and, eating is something, it's comfort,
But you just have to find the substitute. And there are substitutes that you'll still enjoy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it better to have the substitutes, or is it better to sacrifice an extra hour on top of what you already do? And if I was already in that situation, I'd feel like I would rather substitute another hour and then just eat whatever the fuck I want.
No, you do both. You do the substitute and you add the extra hour, and then you're even in better shape. And then when you have your cheat day, not to say that you'll never have that whatever, but when you have that cheat day, you'll enjoy it even more, because once you start to cheat more and more often, then your body becomes used to it. And you don't realize that you've lost everything that you've gained. So that's the point, is that especially as you get older, especially after 30, you want to stay ahead. You want to accumulate as many ahead points as possible, because you will fall behind, and you want to be so far ahead that you can fall behind and still be ahead. If that makes any sense.
Yes. That just seems real stressful.
It's not. Once you start to do it, I think the rule is the 2 weeks of hell. Like, once you get through the first 2 weeks of rearranging your schedule, like, it was always a joke in my condo when I was a bachelor and lived by myself, and I'd have people over. And if you ever talk to Nate, he'll tell you this. He would always make fun of me because, Nate's always been a stoner. So, everybody would come back to my place, and we would party, and we'd, whether it was the Koi Ponderosa at the pool, and, and I'd just be like, hey, raid the cabinets, get whatever you want, this and this and that. Nobody would eat my snacks because they were all healthy snacks. They're like, dude, you have got South Beach pizzas in here. What the fuck? Like, that's what I eat, man. They're like, you have no good high food in your house. You have granola bars. What the shit? Where are the Funyuns at, dude? So everybody used to hate. They loved coming over, but they hated raiding my cabinets because I had shitty high food afterwards, munchy food.
Yeah, save some money like that, huh?
Right.
I say when I go to my dad's now, I don't eat fucking nothing over there. I'm like, fuck, we ain't got nothing good.
Yeah. Well, like, when I go play poker, I'll bring some snacks with me, and I go up to the Orange City Poker Room, and they've got snacks there. They've got actually good food up there, but I'll bring like protein cookies, and I'll sit there at the table, and people were eating whatever, and I'll pull out a protein cookie, and they're like, "What is that?" I'm like, "It's a protein cookie." And they're like, "You're eating a protein cookie in a poker room?" I'm like, yeah, they're delicious. I love it. All right. TheBaileyShow.com. Everything you need. Give us a like, share, follow on all social media. For those that do, thank you very much. For those that subscribe to the other shows, thank you very much. Thanks for spreading the word on the social media. For those that listen to the Freebae episode like today, we hope that you subscribe. We really do. More the merrier. You can do that via thebaileyshow.com and listen to, the Tuesday and Thursday episodes that we have that are always a lot of fun and good. Sometimes we have the sub extras on Friday. As the podcast continues to evolve, subscribers will be getting actually something here very soon, probably next week. Subscribers always get something extra. So as the merch is being developed and as the some things with Podcast and Pours 3 develop, for those that subscribe to the podcast, you will be the ones that I'll go to for these freebies. All right. If you would like to subscribe, and we'd love to have you, thebaileyshow.com. I cannot express how important it is to us if you subscribe. This is what we do for a living, so we ask $4.99 a month for 4 days a week of content. That's a lot of content, even the 2-day out of the week subscription, someday 3 days of the week, that's a lot of content throughout the month. For $5, it's really not asking for much. So please hope you can do that. Again, like, share, follow on all social media, distinctgrace.com for tickets for Podcast and Pours 3. That's in October 12th in Beaufort, Georgia. So we're coming to Georgia. I'm already working on a Podcast and Pours 4 in a different city. So that's going to be a lot of fun. The newsletter, you can subscribe on thebaileyshow.com as well as the YouTube channel. If you want to sponsor the show, and I've said this the last couple episodes, I'm getting ready to add something to the sponsorship packages. So for those that sponsor, like FPC Insurance and Dr. David Markwell and Mad Dog Manny Aurora and Inspect All Pest Services, who is our title sponsor for Podcast and Pours 3, and Andrew Sparks with Sparky's Lawn Service, others that are, we're working to get you on as a sponsor. If your business needs us and wants us and we can help you in your brand in any way, and those that do sponsor the podcast, they're getting results. This does work. It doesn't matter where you're at in the country that listen, it does work. We've got listeners all over the place. Just get a hold of me, thebaileyshow.com, and I can tell you and break it down and all that good stuff. And I'll also tell you what I'm getting ready to add to the sponsors, which is going to be even more valuable to your brand. All right. Brandon, you got anything before we get out?
Rachel is going to feel like Miss America this Parents Weekend at University of Alabama.
Jesus, dude, you're scaring the hell. All right, as always, we appreciate the support. Thanks for listening. Have a great, safe one. Until next time. Hey, bye.
Thanks for listening. Till next time, check out thebaileyshow.com. Make sure you like, share, follow on all socials. I leave you with these parting words.
Never got a pink slip either. You know what I would get? A guy would come around to my desk and say, "Get the fuck out of here!"
What do we want to talk about?
Subscribe at thebaileyshow.com.
Yeah, baby.